The left woke machine goes after Matt Walsh in an attempt to cancel him by dredging up some kind of radio broadcast from 10 years ago and trying to take it out of context. The reason why they're doing this is because Matt is an unrelenting critic of their agenda to mutilate and abuse these children by transitioning their sex.
Ever since the beginning of time, teenage girls have been getting pregnant. It used to be more common. Ever since they started keeping records of these things, which they only started doing recently, like in the 20th century, in 1957 was the peak for teenage pregnancy. 1957, not 2009,
well, back
not
then,
today.
All of them were supposed to have kids. Like, that's when you had kids.
That's my point, okay? So to all of a sudden act like this phenomenon of girls getting pregnant at a young age that we consider young, 16 or 17, to act like it's a new thing is ridiculous. It's always been that way. Right now, I'm going to start by just stating facts. So fact number one, it's not a new phenomenon. Fact number two, in fact, it's a phenomenon that was more common earlier in history, and for, the first 6,000 to 10,000 years of human existence, it was a normal thing. Fact three, girls between the ages of like 17 and 24 is when they're technically most fertile.
Yeah.
Okay? That's biological. That's a fact, all right? I'm just stating facts. That's all I'm doing.
He's not advocating for anything. He's just stating the reality of the situation. But notice what they've written in these articles. Matt Walsh advocates for the impregnation of girls as young as 16 because it's technically when they're at their most fertile. They struggle with biology because it flies in the face of everything that they're doing.
What happened recently, and this is the fourth fact, recently in the last 30 years or so, we decided that that's way too young to start a family.
Why?
Because now
divorce rates would probably go up, and once you're that young, you can't really make sure that you know.
No, girls are no.
Because girls were getting married early, and marriages were lasting longer. You very rarely hear about like these relationships that go to their your diamond anniversary, your 50th anniversary, and all this. That's a dying breed of people out there.
Yeah, and those were all people that got married very young. That's why
they're still alive.
Yeah, that's why you can have someone in their 70s who's celebrating their 55th wedding anniversary because they got married when they were teenagers.
They took what he said out of context because they actually have nothing. The only thing they can do is take things out of context in an attempt to smear and cancel people. We're going to go to a statement that Matt Walsh made in response to these accusations. I think he did a great job with it.
The left is not satisfied to merely accuse me of racism, terrorism, political extremism, workplace violence. They're also absurdly claiming that I advocated child brides. And for that bit of defamation, they are using another segment from over a decade ago where we discussed the issue of teen pregnancy. And I pointed out that in the past, teen pregnancy wasn't considered a problem because people got married younger. I was attempting to highlight in an admittedly awkward and rambling way in my early 20s, riffing off the top of my head during a rock morning show to an audience of almost no one at the time, the fact that unwed pregnancy is a core problem that plagues our society, and it's still a problem even when the unwed pregnant person is an adult. So no matter the age, I argued at the time, pregnancies become a crisis when they happen outside of marriage without a stable family structure in place to care for the child. This was, again, not an issue in earlier times because people got married young and stayed married. At its core, it's a rather uncontroversial historical observation. The left has latched on to this point from years ago and tried to use it to flip the groomer label around on me, accusing me of, quote, promoting teen pregnancy and even child rape. This is a defamatory lie. They know it's a lie, and it shows how desperate they are. They've chosen the most toxic smears available because smears are all they have. I'm not the first person to get this treatment, obviously. I certainly won't be the last. And it's not just me they're after. They want to send a message to everybody else. They want to send a message to you that if you stand up against them, this is what happens. They want to make me into another head on a spike, one of many. They put out on the edge of town a warning to anyone else who might think about disobeying their rules. So here's my official answer for the record. Kiss my ass. I do not apologize. In fact, by all rights, you sick freaks should be the ones apologizing to me for lying and defaming me, and doing it all because I'm trying to prevent you from sexually mutilating children. You damned monsters. You child-abusing psychopaths. I wouldn't apologize to you soulless parasites if I had a gun to my head. I apologize for nothing. I concede nothing. I will never surrender even a single inch of ground to a pitchfork mob of degenerate morons. The secret they never say out loud is that nobody is truly canceled unless they consent to it and they willingly play their assigned roles. Well, I do not consent, and I'm not going to play the game. I'm not going anywhere.
There you have it, straight from the mouth of Matt Walsh. The way you deal with these feminists, these woke NPCs, these leftists, is you just tell them to F off. Let them cry. The only power they actually hold is crying, bitching, and moaning, and basically protesting their way into getting what they want. At the end of the day, if we just ignore them, they're just crying into the wind. They don't matter.